What do you like about Mykonos?
Oh, I love Mykonos. I was supposed to check out tomorrow, but I love it so much I'm staying an extra week.
Extra week?
Come here. The party, the vibes, the beaches, the boys. Mwah, I love Mykonos.
No matter who you are, how jaded you are, there's something about this place.
Mykonos is a blessed place.
Most people mistake it for just a nightclub city or, you know, a party place.
There is such a history.
But in Mykonos, they just spend a lot of money.
People used to come because they love the island.
Mykonos is one of the many beautiful islands situated between Naxos and Paros. This was an impoverished island in ancient times, especially when you compare it to its neighbour, 2 kilometres away, Delos. This was the party place, the place to be, the place of worship, the place of fun. Now, in this modern day and age, Mykonos has certainly taken its mantle.
Mykonos is one of the few islands in Greece where you can party as much as you want. But you can also relax.
Mykonos is like a theatre stage. The characters will come out to play in front of you. One will meet some of the most amazing people performing on that stage. There is a range of quirky, hard-working locals, revelers, seasonal visitors, gay community, famous people. Mykonos is their stage, a platform to explore life, culture and living the dream.
So what I think when I think of Mykonos, I think culture, I think the people, the white and blue houses, the windmills, but what it's most famous for is the party.
I love the Greek culture, I love Mykonos, the party, and I get away from Sydney's winter and straight for the beaches and the beautiful sexy women in their bikinis and the dance music that I love. When you see thousands and thousands of people on the beach, it's something to be seen. Here I am at Super Paradise Beach, the entrance of the beach bar club where I danced for the last 25 years. And I come here every summer to Mykonos, and the people are like family to me. I leave work from Sydney, Australia, and I come here for the summer. In the 90s it was more raw. The drachma was still around, it was cheaper, and it was packed. People were just having fun. Now Mykonos in the last 5 years especially, even though it's a crisis, there's no crisis in Mykonos. But it's become very commercial. That's it. Very expensive with the euro, but people still come because they get this kind of fun and bars and clubs. Famous DJs come here, actors, celebrities, you name it, they're here.
I know him from last year. He's very good dancer. He's very funny man.
Το καλύτερο παιδί είναι. It's the crazy man in Super Paradise.
We are here for nightlife, for the beaches, for the sun, just to enjoy this vacation.
Party, party.
Just for the party. Yeah. We just love Europe. Europe's an awesome place in summer, and it's amazing in summer. So, yeah.
Are you guys single?
Yeah. Yeah, you can see all the single boys waiting here. All the single guys here. There's the single boys here.
The service is great.
Party.
Sit by the pool.
I expect all of you to have girlfriends by the end of this trip, or boyfriends, depending.
Yeah, no, we will see. We're hoping to see you there at the party, and then we're gonna find.
So you got Super Paradise Beach, which is where techno dances, but for the younger set, they go to one of the most well-known beaches, Tropicana. So that Tropicana is all about party, it's all about dancing, it's all about drinking, it's all about having a good time.
remember Mykonos, well, 65, I'm pretty sure in saying that it hadn't long been on the radar for tourists. Well, firstly, there were no hotels. In fact, I don't even think there was a hotel there at all. They were just pensions. And I'd been living in London for nearly 2 years, and there was certainly no holidays advertised in the Observer or in the magazines offering a week on Mykonos, because it just wasn't in play in those days. So it was really a down market, cheap, great place just to go and chill out and relax. There was no drugs, except for cigarettes and booze. Yeah, Mykonos, lovely place.
Well, I guess if you go back to earlier times, it was an obscure, desolate island that survived World War II through starvation and bitter struggles. And then it blossomed in a way through its entrepreneurial spirit that propelled it to be the worldwide center for glitzy 24/7 summer existence. Every place in Greece now envies its tourism business. And that makes it unique. And a lot of islands here want to have that sort of life. They want to be like Mykonos. They want the story to happen, the entrepreneurial success.
Every new summer season we see are mainly focused to luxury tourists. This of course brings the rates and the whole lifestyle of Mykonos to luxury levels, which means that Mykonos now is mainly focused on wealthier tourists. Even 10 years ago, we only had one luxury beach bar restaurant, like the Namos restaurant at Saru Beach. Now there are many more beach bars, clubs which have opened around the island in many different beaches.
Yes, it should be about the party. This is why we come here, but afterwards you see that the island captivates you with all its nature and beauty, and the seas and the pools and the people. So it begins with the parties, but it ends up with much more fuller soul, because of the sun, because of the wind, because of the green, because of the blue.
At this time, rates in general compare to the most expensive destination, most luxury destinations in the world. Even if you compare it with Capri, with Sardinia, or with Saint-Tropez or Ibiza, but I hope we can always deliver good value for money for our services, and we will keep the luxury kind of tourists that we always wanted to attract.
I have been here more than 35 times. The first time I came in 1969. I've been at this hotel since his father and mother ran it. When I first came here, people came down to the boats when you arrived, offering rooms. There were very few hotels, and everything was very slow-moving and not glitzy the way it is now, and it's gradually changed over a long period of time. It was very quiet in '69. I think it was when Jackie Kennedy had first, or Jackie Onassis had first made the Greek islands known, and then people started coming in large numbers.
There is such a history where the place in Greece and maybe in all over the world with the more churches. Nowhere there are more churches than here. We have a very significant tradition. We have we can say that we have our own language. If you hear someone to speak Mykonian, you will not get neither one word. You will try to, and this is a matter of culture and of civilization. But in our days, all the society, all the Mykonian society deals only with money. Whatever brings the money and make them rich, more rich, they are interested in that.
So it's becoming more like a tourist destination. In those days it was different. You know, people used to come because they loved the island. It's not the same. We used to come with a boat, there was no harbor. And we used to get off the boat, get into the small boats, tenders to bring us out to the shore. You know, I've seen a lot of suitcases and shoes being lost on the way from the boat to the shore. Now we have an airport where we have maybe 10, 15 charter flights a day. So it's different.
Yeah. Every prince you can think of in Saudi Arabia comes here every single season. You don't get to see them often because they're on their yachts, but they do come here. Name dropping now, Hugh Jackman was here last week, Francesco Totti was here last week, Leonardo DiCaprio was here, Kardashian was here. Most of the football stars, they like to come to Mykonos.
This story comes from a gay couple that I met when I just arrived here. It was like my first guest in this accommodation. They came from Norway, I think, and the first thing that they asked me is like, "Excuse me, Stefanos, could you please point us the flag of Mykonos?" And I was, wow, what I'm supposed to answer to them. I mean, Mykonos belongs to Greece, you know, you're familiar with the Greek flag, so what are you asking me? And they tell me that they had the idea that probably Mykonos is a total isolated country, like Malta, like Monaco, and that's the reason that they asked me about the flag, because they know from the media, Facebook, from everything, how bad the things are here in Greece. But in Mykonos, they just spent a lot of money. While they were searching for accommodations, they saw a couple of places that asked like 1,000 euros per night, and they was a bit confused. I cannot blame them. I mean, 1,000 euros per night? Come on. The salary in Greece is like 700 euros per month. And in Mykonos you have to pay that amount for just one night. Yeah, it's super expensive.
What's your favorite thing to do in Mykonos? Go to the beach, because the beaches are very beautiful.
With its dry and windy climate, Mykonos is home to some of the most stunning beaches on the planet, and all these beaches straddle its 81 kilometers of coastline. A vast majority of these beaches offer table service at your rented lounger. However, if you look a little deeper, you can still find untouched coastline to enjoy on the island, the very island that is supposedly constantly packed full of visitors.
One of the places I've really fallen in love with is Calafati. Calafati Beach is one of the quieter parts of the island. Yet, if you tell a local that you're staying at Calafati, they're like, oh my god, that's really far. Why the hell are you staying that far away? Are you nuts? Are you crazy? Yet, it's only a 20 minutes drive from Mykonos town. And what you'll find when you get here is a stunning beach, water sports, a couple of little places to come and hang out, a resort, and like everywhere else in Mykonos, lots of little churches.
Well, you can't really look at Mykonos and not see a church. And everywhere you look, there's another white church. I love when people say, well, take a turn at the church. Good luck at that. But it used to be some of the old guidebooks, which are still in print, say there's as many churches as a number of days a year, which then says 365 for those who don't know that. But there's probably more like 1,500 here now with all the building and additions to it. And they play a seminal role in the life here from the beginning to the end. Because if you should die here, the cemeteries cannot accommodate your bones for longer than a few number of years. And then if you do not have a family church, they're put in a little carton stuck in a warehouse shelf. So people will take and they bury the family in the church. It also is a place where they have panagiris and festivals and baptisms. If you look at the churches, there's one thing in common. They all have the same thing in common. They all have their front door facing west. And that is an element of the story. But they all have their front door facing west. So you can tell from looking at a church which direction is west and which direction is east. How do you like that? No need for a GPS, just find a church nearby.
Amongst all the jewellery stores in Mykonos, there's a little store selling religious icon paintings. And religion is a big part of Greek life, especially with all the churches on Mykonos Island.
This shop is one of the oldest in Mykonos. It's a 4th generation painter shop. It's from the grandfather of the owner, his father, his brother, and now the owner, he is a painter. He's the last one, so this tradition is going to end soon. Why do they do this? This is how they got in touch with God, how they think a form was, and then as an artist, how to put this on a piece of wood or something like this. 1940 to 1950, that's when it was made, that piece. It's Saint Nicholas, he's the savior of people who travel by sea and sailors. He's saving the drowning men. You can see the colors, the gold behind, that's Byzantine. When it has a gold background, it's more Byzantine. Most of these are unique. You're not going to find them easy somewhere else.
Absolutely loving the shopping. It's fantastic. Best boutiques in the world. So yeah.
You bring a lady to a party destination and she'll find the shopping anyway. Yeah.
Along the labyrinth of streets in Mykonos town, you can find around 200 fashion destinations and 100 jewelry stores, a high number for such a small island.
I came to Mykonos because I think it's a fashion hub. It's a very international place, so and you can really dress as you want, and there is so many people that come here and enjoy this island. It's really a place to be if you're a designer. It's really the place to be.
It's probably the first one to bring things from Bali in 1975. When I decided to come back to Mykonos, it was almost like a continuation from where I left in the 80s, you know. And I thought, you know, I'll just do something, keep me occupied. I gotta do something. I can't hang out at the beach. Although I should at my age. But, you know, it's kind of occupation. Keeps me busy in the winter because I make everything in Bali and I come here in the summer and sell it.
Everything started when I was 38. I gave up my job. I was working as a marketing director in a big company, and I thought it's about time to do what I really want in my life. Everything is handmade that I make. 90% of the jewelry are totally unique, and I also now play with diamonds, rubies, and other stones.
And actually Mykonos is like, for me, right now Mykonos is like a big town in the middle of Aegean. It's an international hub. But we are in the middle of the sea and it's an island and it's so beautiful. I wish if I could stay here all year around, to have the shop open all year around, but unfortunately we have winter and nobody's here.
Mykonos is a blessed place. It has two options. It's like a coin. It will either keep you and love you or kick you. You must love her, but you must love her truly for what she is. And she's a beauty. She's a wild beauty. And that's the secret.
Everyone who gets off that boat, no matter who it is, for the first time, they are blown away by the brilliant white against this desert landscape. It captures them no matter who you are or how jaded you are. There's something about this place. So what's unique about it, having said all that, is one simple thing: the people. They're the ones who made it happen, and they're the ones who will make it happen.
Here in Mykonos, there's 10,000 locals in Mykonos. We get just over 2 million visitors every season. So remember, Australia, for instance, has got 6 million tourists a year. Greece gets 30 to 32 million a year. Santorini gets 4 million, we get 2 million. But more money gets spent in Mykonos because it's known as the lifestyle island. It caters for everyone, from families to elderly people, the gay, the lesbian, the Greeks from abroad, the party, you know, the luxury, villas. It's an interesting part of the world because 10% of Greece's economy is actually based here. You know, believe it or not. It's amazing. 10,000 locals only. And 20,000 people like myself who come for the 7-month season. So we work for 7 months.
I think what's really unique about this island is that whether you're growing up here like 20 years ago or now, is that you experience two sides of the same place in such a, like, there's such a juxtaposition between winter in Mykonos and summer in Mykonos. So you experience the village life, the locals, you know everybody, you walk around town, you say hi to a million people. And it's really quiet and peaceful, but at the same time, in the summer there's this cultural like mix of people. Then you get to meet people. Yeah, so in the summer you get to meet people from all around the world, and you get to experience culture in a sense without leaving your home.
It was amazing growing up here. The winter is not at all as you see the cosmopolitan Mykonos. It's more nature, it's silence, it's just you, the sea, all these very busy roads you see, they're empty, and you're like, you know, the queen there, and they're yours. And I find it very beautiful as island, and as that it's for everyone, I believe. The school is nice, you know everyone. So, you know, you go anywhere you go in Mykonos in the winter, you go to supermarket, hello, everyone knows you, to school, to grocery, anything. I find it lovely. I love this part of Mykonos. In the summer, you don't have to go on vacations. You have Mykonos right here. Any beach, you want something silent, you go to St. Stostis or to Kapari, which are very silent and nice. You want to party, you go to Paradise. So you have any option in your life here.
And you become more open-minded, I think, depending on your family. Because me, surrounded by artists and on this island, you're more open about a lot of things. For example, the gay community, and all this partying, and all these people expressing themselves, and nudists, and hippies, and artists. So for me specifically, that was something that's really unique about growing up here.
I'm from Albania, but I live here in Greece from 14 years old.
What do you like about Mykonos?
Everything, because Mykonos you have everything, so you can find everything. You can find the sun, you can find the beach, you have nightlife, you have day life, you have work, you have everything in Mykonos.
Οι γονείς μου κάνουν, η μαμά μου βασικά έχει κάνει immigration το 1990, τότε θυμάστε που είχε διαλύσει το συνοικίευση. Και εντάξει, εγώ ήμουν πιτσιρίκα. Κατάλαβα, δεν με ρωτήσανε το νησί, αλλά εντάξει, όταν ήρθα σε αυτό το νησί την δεύτερη μέρα είχα και φίλες, παρόλο που δεν ήξερα τη γλώσσα, σαν το παιδί. Γιατί όλοι είμαστε χριστιανοί ορθόδοξοι, αυτό είναι πολύ σημαντικό.
It's a nice town, Mykonos. Most people mistake it for just a nightclub city or, you know, a party place. There is so many cultural stuff done here, family-orientated activities to do, ancient history, museums, artwork, films.
So when I was 50, I came back in my homeland, in Mykonos, and I rented this space here. The garden is in the heart of town of Mykonos. It's the only place with trees in Mykonos, and I run an open-air cinema, cinema under the stars, and this Greek restaurant. They are in the same place. And the Dependent says that we're among the 6 most beautiful cinemas in the world. Guardian says that we are in 10 most beautiful cinemas in the world.
The space is such a beautiful space. It's a garden, it's a desert garden, hence the cactus, hence the waterfall over there. It's a nice place for children to come to. The majority of people who come to Mykonos don't know about this space. And 50 steps that way is, you know, let's say Louis Vuitton, and 100 steps that way is Little Venice. And most people don't, because it's actually sheltered by all these streets around. It's a very calm place. It's a nice place. The artwork are there by a gentleman named Luis, who's a Spanish gentleman who's been on the island for 45 years.
When I came here, I just finished art school in Mexico, 4 years of art school, and so I started developing here, and the island was very paintable. The architecture is fantastic, and I mean, what you see now is very much affected by the number of shops, but the architecture was really special, and the people were very healthy. There were people who enjoy life, they like to dance and to sing, and I like it here, nice day. As simple as that.
I chose to be here and to help my uncle because, except from the fun and the nice beaches that have the Mykonos and you can enjoy it, you can see the other side, the artwork, which we have a lot of artists but they cannot be promoted, and we try to do that. Mykonos is one of the smallest island of the Cyclades and generally of all the Aegean, but in this small island you can enjoy and see some things that you won't even imagine in other parts of the world. So that's why many people come here, many VIPs, famous, like the Emir of Qatar, like footballers, like Bon Jovi.
A short boat trip from Mykonos, and you will reach one of the most important mythological, historical and archaeological sites in the world. First settled in the 3rd millennium BCE, it evolved over time into a important place of worship for the Greek gods, the home of the treasury for the Delian League, and a major trading port throughout its ancient history.
In the 1990s, Delos was declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO, and it is nowadays under the protection of the Ministry of Culture.
There is a great place which is Delos, with all the antiquities and all the energy is there, and there's a great place to visit in summer.
You go to Mykonos and all you expect is party island, right? And what you don't realise is that you've got this whole other island which is Delos, which is what put Mykonos on the map. And Delos is all about
the history
of the whole area, really. It was the market for not only the Persians, but the Romans, but the Greeks, and everyone else within that area, so it's amazing.
The rows of lions, I remember, stone lions, and it was quite fascinating.
Delos is beautiful, yeah. It was, different to obviously what I've seen here. Very historical, no civilization there now, and it was 1500 years. It was just uninhabited. No one had found it, and about 100 years ago, the Athenian University went down there and they discovered some things, and yeah, it was really interesting. Yeah, birthplace of Apollo.
All of Delos was inhabited. They said that there were, like at one time, there could have been 30,000 inhabitants here. So the entire island is inhabited. What you see is just what's been excavated. So on the other side of the island, down that way of the island, there are little spots everywhere. The House of Dionysus, which is a series of marble columns up there, it's particularly interesting if you're not looking for temples and all the typical things that you normally see in Greece, if you're actually thinking of house and how people live. there's a wonderful atrium with a mosaic, and underneath that is where they collected water, directly under the mosaic. The other thing that's amazing about the houses is that they always had a second story, which is where all the women and children lived, which unfortunately haven't remained.
Those mines were revealed to me by a very dear friend who just passed away this past year. He worked in those mines. And those mines were in fact the heart of this island for a while. That's where people earned their livings. And when you go out there and you see them, it's surreal. It looks like it's after a nuclear holocaust that hit them. And there they are, frozen in time. And how can you pass up on that as a basis for a murder mystery? That's what I found. As an aside, a strange thing happened after the book had come out, and I was still practicing law in New York. One of my partners walks in and said, "We've just been retained to represent this company which has acquired these operations on Mykonos, and it's the barite mines." And I looked, I said, "My God, that's the part of my book." So the world does take a strange turn. You end up coming back to that very thing. So that was how the mines entered into my books. It just sat right there. The people who work there, for example, keep crisscrossing paths in their lives here. My friend Nico, he worked here as a kid. He used to hike out on Saturday night, I believe it was, and hike back in on Sunday night. There was no road. They had to go over the hills because everything was taken out by ship. So they had all the food they needed for the entire week. That was the way they did it. It was a tough time. This was in the 50s.
Greek food has a reputation around the world for its freshness, tasting delicious, and its healthy elements. On Mykonos, this is no different. While the island has become more commercial over the years, this has not affected the wholesomeness of the food on offer, whether it's on the coast or among the streets of Mykonos town.
Another gem you find while stumbling through the streets is a wood bakery. It's been there for generations and it sells every type of Greek delicacy you can imagine, and it is a definite must visit once on the island.
Let's get you some breakfast. Have you had some Greek omelettes from Mykonos?
I would love a Mykonos.
Let's get you some more. Just give me a second. Back.
Another gem of a different kind that you find when stumbling through the streets at any time of night or day is the Mykonos institution of Jimmy Gyros. They are legendary. The sauce is to die for. It's basically a wrap that costs €4 to €5 and it's wonderful at any time of night or day, and it's absolutely known for the cold chip that's stuck in the top of it, but it just tastes amazing.
A couple of nice spots on the other part of the island. On the northern part there's a place called Kiki, which is a rustic, old, authentic Greek taverna. No electricity, cash only.
I'm at Kiki's and I found out about it like I find out about most things, and that's on Instagram. I was just doing a regular Mykonos trawl and I came across this place and I thought it looked too cute to pass up. And it was also by the beach over there, which is really beautiful. So yeah, and we've been waiting here for about, I think probably about 40 minutes now, but I've just taken over my friend's second shift, so yeah, and I'm armed with this, so it shouldn't be too long, I'm sure.
The landscape of Mykonos is rather rugged. It's dry, rocky, with little shade from trees. It provides a stark backdrop to the blue of the sea and the white of the houses. And let's not forget, there are many surprises you can actually explore inland.
I opened a little company called African American Travelers. We're African American, we travel. I gotta shout out my photographer, his name is Carrie Bradshaw. When I set up this before, it was kind of just going to be a free-for-all sort of thing and we go wherever we want. He said, no, we can't do that. He said, we got to go here. And here we are. We went there here the first time. People loved it. We're here the second time. I had to convince them because, you know, they would say, oh, it's scary. And the guy says it's dangerous, like the people we rent the bikes from. But we're here. And as far as why Mykonos, why not? You know, last year we did Ibiza and we heard this island's a little bit better. So had to come see for ourselves. I know you guys like that. I've seen the shirts. So yeah, we're here. Second time around. First night here. Hopefully tomorrow we can go party and see Super Paradise and all that. After we do a yacht trip actually tomorrow to see Rainier and Delos, which I highly recommend. Delos is really nice.
Κύριε Μαρία, νούμερα. Το καλύτερο χωριό. Ναι. Εκεί. Το καλύτερο χωριό.
When most people visit a Greek island, they come across a number of villages. When you come to Mykonos, you tend to just think of Mykonos town and some party places. However, there are actually 10 villages.
Anomera is the biggest village in Greece, as we say, but it's for sure the biggest in Cyclades, all Clades. It's the only place in Mykonos that has trees. Eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is not Greek, not a Greek plant. This is the oldest tree in Anomera. It's 216 years old. It's still alive. It grows up 1 inch every year. It's still alive, and as the church's book says, it's the oldest tree in the town.
In the oldest tavern on Mykonos, this is the famous Vangelis place here. So it's a building 180 years old. So you just have to come here and have a look at what's going on here. So Mykonos is a lovely place. It's famous about the nice beaches and about the big parties we make here. So everybody's welcome on this island.
The old town of Mykonos is made up of a labyrinth of streets. You can't fit vehicles down them and they twist and turn. And apparently these were originally built this way to foil pirates who were coming on the island so that they got lost. It works on people too, and it's a very difficult place to find itself around, but that's the beauty of it. You just stumble through the streets and discover places.
So this guy decided that it is busy. It is really busy. Every street corner, Mykonos town. So he just decided to get a vest from the $2 shop, put it on, and he's directing traffic.
This is a typical scene in Mykonos. This is Mykonos town. As you can see behind me, every single day throughout the tourist season, people are everywhere, hordes of people. They come to shop, they come to party, they come to enjoy themselves, they come to eat. This is a town that doesn't want to sleep. This is a town that continues to operate till 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning.
What do you love about Mykonos? Everything. Absolutely everything. The best. The beaches, the culture, the atmosphere, people, just amazing. So you take everything from all the other holiday places, so the clubbing from Central Spain, the beaches from Spain, shopping from Italy, and you just put it in one place. And then you have the Greek charm and Greek culture.
Mykonos is arguably the most famous party place in the world. The glamour, the beauty, the music, and the night and day life all prove an enticing carrot for the young at heart. It's estimated that 1.8 million people will visit a Mykonos bar or club night and day during the course of summer or the long summer season. Then you have places like Jackie O, Babylon, Scandinavian bar and club, which is very, very famous in Mykonos town and a place to start the night with a few shots.
Actually, in Mykonos,
You can dance, you can make new friends, you can enjoy the Mykonian nightlife. It's amazing.
What time does the nightlife finish?
Around 6.
I fell in love with Greece also. This is not the last stop. I'm going to Naxos now, so the adventure continues. Maybe I'll catch up with you guys again. And thank you. I love Mykonos, I love Greece. Everything was so great. I'll be back for sure. And end of story.
Mykonos is apparently most famous for the party. If you go beneath the surface, unpack the layers of culture, you will find another side.
And my favourite moment going to Mykonos is when I see these friends and customers that come there, and I see them in Mykonos, and I'm always partying with them, and I have this friendship and friends from around the world, from New York, the Greeks, from all over Europe. It's great to see everyone meet up once again every year.
So we speak to the locals, and it seems like they're making fun of us. I ask, is it always this windy? And they're like, well, it's windy this week, and then the week before, and the week after. Is it that way?
Tomorrow the best show, GG show from Brazil, Fortaleza. Tomorrow at Mykonos. Welcome. I love you. I love you, Mykonos.